Welcome to the iGaming Daily podcast brought to you by Optimove. Right now, you're hearing the voice of James Ross. However, this episode will be hosted by SBC's editor-at-large, Ted Menmuir. I just felt like it's been a bit too long since you all heard my voice, so I wanted to do this introduction. In this episode, Ted is joined by SBC America's Justin Byers to run over the recent updates in Pennsylvania, as the district court accepted the lawsuit by the Major League Baseball Players Inc. against DraftKing's for alleged infringing on the use of players' images on its platform and social media. Then, once Ted has signed off the episode, you will hear a report that Ted produced at the recent Optimove Connect conference that was held in London earlier this week. So, with that, I'll leave you and I'll pass over to Ted.
In Pennsylvania, the district court has called on DraftKings to return to the dock, accepting a lawsuit by the Major League Baseball Players Association on the infringement of player images on its platform and social media. iGaming Daily dissects another round of legal dispute, drama, and costly settlements within the US iGaming sector in what now appears to be its most common condition. I'm Ted Menmuir, and joining me today, we have SBC's North American senior journalist, Justin Byers. Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk some more regulatory and legal scrutiny here in America. It's the gift that keeps giving.
It really is. It is. And before we begin, I would just like to make a shout out to Optimove, sponsors of the iGaming Daily and the best CRM solution for iGaming marketers. So, Justin, let's get straight into it. Can you give me your kind of summary of DraftKings' ongoing lawsuit with the MLPBI with regards to the use of player image rights for baseball?
Yeah, it's appropriate we bring this up right now with baseball kicking off this week. MLB getting its season underway, so we got another exciting summer and spring ahead of us. But between then and there, we've got this suit in Pennsylvania, and it's sort of like your classic name, image, and likeness legal battle that we've seen going on in the NCAA. We've seen it happen with individual athletes and companies, and now we're seeing it with a major operator and a major sports entity that's also protecting players. And so we're seeing the MLB Players Inc. make claims against DraftKings that they're improperly using player images and player marketing in their sportsbook app and also in DraftKings direct marketing. So that's where we're kind of running into an issue of whether DraftKings has the authority to use those players' names and images and in whether what kind of way they're deploying it. And so that's why we kind of have this issue of whether DraftKings is operating in the right way.
So when you're talking about how it's deployed, I mean, are we talking about a situation that if DraftKings or a bookmaker index, say, I don't know, like Otani to hit a home run, that is viewed as an infringement by the MLB?
Yeah, exactly. So I know if you open up your DK app right now, you'll see players and teams, but you'll also see players' faces listed within those teams. And so that's sort of where we're kind of running into things. The player's name, they're not going to get away from that just because that's the nature of a betting market and nature of a sports book. But using those images and likenesses from a team in Major League Baseball, that's where we're kind of running into this issue. And so what DraftKings has argued is that their use of these names and images are promotional tools, are used as marketing because it's newsworthy and you're putting odds out there, and odds are forever changing and odds are a part of the sports betting news. So that's their claim, is that their use of names and images is part of their news cycle.
And how come, DraftKings are in the center of this, but it appears that I think FanDuel will let off the hook, and another operator were not kind of involved in these charges, and they were let off by the MLB related to this dispute.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like DraftKings is staying steadfast in their belief that they're properly using name, image, and likeness of these MLB players. But in return, like you said, we've had two operators. I want to say, let me double check on this. I want to say FanDuel. Yeah, it was FanDuel who ended up settling a similar case in Illinois. And I think the reason why we're having this issue is I don't think DraftKings was to give into that when FanDuel did. And I'm not going to say that's them, kind of going back and forth about, who's ready to go to battle when it comes to some regulatory and legal issues. But the fact that FanDuel settled it and DraftKings is continuing to fight it just is a microcosm of their relationship between each other and their ability to compete.
Okay. But what I find interesting from as an external observer to the US, and I don't cover this market day in, day out, but can you tell me, like, as a journalist, what's kind of your condition covering this market, which is sounds so litigious, but the other factor here is that, covering these court cases, do these bookmakers view kind of like, if I settle in this district, then I'm just going to have to settle this across every time, every market I've entered? And is this kind of a defensive move by the operators in themselves?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Because sports betting is so new in America, it's constantly changing. We're constantly learning. I think they're not wanting to have that precedent set that, okay, if we do this way, then there's going to be markets, there's going to be regulators that expect us to do this in that way, no matter what. And so I think because of where they're at with this case and because of the largeness of it, this is Major League Baseball and this is, America's oldest pastime. This is America's sport.
Sure.
And so the fact that this is an issue within that league, I think it's making things a little different in the way it's handled. Had it been something a little bit more minute, or even if it was amateur sports, I think it could be a little bit different.
But I think you raise a very kind of good and poignant view that, this is the MLB, it's America's pastime, but America is formed of, the pro leagues have got so much power on, not only the regulatory front, but also the appeal of the sport. The appeal of sports and the engagement with fans. So how does that kind of convey itself back to the sports book? I mean, what do you audiences feel that is happening in US sports betting?
Yeah, like you're saying, Major League Baseball's kind of lended itself to this issue by kind of diving itself into the sports betting business. I know from my perspective and just from looking at pro sports in general, Major League Baseball was one of the last major for American pro sports to embrace gambling. And I think they did that for a reason, because they wanted to see how other things shook out. But now we're kind of seeing, okay, they put themselves in the position, now they're having to answer for it. So I think that's a huge thing that we're going to be seeing across pro sports in general, especially as more like niche leagues and niche sports kind of dive into the betting business itself. They're making sure all the big boys take all the brunt of the hurt first, and then kind of seeing where all the crumbs are left.
But okay, we're talking about big beasts out there, the MLB, NBA, but have they ever actually put forth what they want from a sports betting market? And I remember when the US market launched, and there was this opinion that they would, go in there with their own sports books and with their own kind of preferred partners. That hasn't come to play, but they still want an element of control on the market. Isn't that right?
Yeah, 100%. And we're kind of seeing that issue play out, not only with this MLB case, but we've seen things even, I think the growth of sports betting, along with some of the recent scandals we've had, are also kind of impacting the perception of this whole thing. I've seen a couple different instances of professional athletes, even in Major League Baseball, kind of get tied into this business in the wrong way. And that's kind of shaping how things are being moved forward from a general sense. So I think from that perspective, it's going to be forever changing.
Okay. And then my final question, this is more about kind of your observations on the role. Is this just a current kind of pain point for US iGaming and US sports betting? This kind of condition that everything's going to court, major settlements. Is this just a phase, or do you think that this will just continue?
That's a really good question, because I think I asked that question to myself about some of the issues we've seen in iGaming, and not just sports betting. We've seen this issue with sweepstakes too. Like, is this thing going to continue? Are these cease and desist letters, is this going to be a phase, or is this going to be just how the business is ran? I think because things are so new within sports betting and the relationships between operators and brands and leagues is so new that this might just be a phase in the way things are handled. And the more we develop gaming rules and regulations, I think that will curtail some of these bigger issues, legal issues, regulatory issues. So from my perspective, some of this stuff is a phase, but it's almost human nature to kind of push the envelope on things. And we've seen operators and DFS operators have no hesitation in pushing the envelope. So we'll see.
Justin, it's been an absolute pleasure. And to our audiences, make sure you check out Justin's work at SBC Americas alongside our other writers, Tom Nightingale and Jessica Welman. They do an awesome job covering that market. Have a great day, Justin. Hi, team. I've managed to find a quiet spot at the Optimove Connect conference, which is currently in full swing at the Convene Centre in the City of London. For our audience, Optimove is the leading CRM and marketing supplier, not only of gaming, but also across significant mass market sectors. So it's fitting that they've chosen to host a dedicated conference in London for their global clients, partners, and suppliers. Even looking at the entities, all of whom play a key role in facilitating the platform's comprehensive online marketing capabilities. As an attendee, for me, it's striking to reflect on how far Optimove has come since it was founded in 2012 by Pinny Yakul. As founder, Pinny touched on this during the conference's welcome session, where he detailed Optimove's transformation from a CRM service provider to a platform that manages the full scope of data capture, intelligence, and campaign logistics. Penny opened the session by introducing the theme of embracing positionless marketing, a concept that reflects the evolving nature of marketing as a traditional role shift with the rise of AI innovations in automated solutions. His audience was reminded that as marketing becomes increasingly automated, businesses are facing growing pressure to improve campaign efficiency, cost controls, and ROI, a challenge that extends beyond the iGaming sector. Shai Frank, VP of Global Sales, provided an in-depth overview of Optimove's platform capabilities and how AI empowers marketing. He highlighted that Optimove currently processes over 7 billion data sets per week from its clients, as top-tier partners run over 1,000 marketing campaigns each week on its platform. The presentation demonstrated how AI can seamlessly integrate into business workflows, with Optimove now driving new automation capabilities across channel offerings, audience capture, segmentation, and content delivery. It's impressive to see how far Optimove has come as a business. Founded around the same time as SBC in 2012, if there's one key takeaway from this conference, is that we are entering a bold new era of marketing, one filled with glowing opportunities, but also mounting pressure to deliver on cost controls. Thankfully, we have Optimove as a trusted partner of the iGaming Daily podcast. Thank you.